Hi my friends, thank you for joining me again for another recipe for survival. It's been quite some time and so I'm doing the new angle on recipes for survival, and I'm going to make a Brie-en-Croute, which is a baked brie with toasted almonds and cranberry sauce and wrapped in a puff pastry. I got inspired to do this because at Thanksgiving time I became crazed about cranberry sauce, and I wanted to make a spectacular cranberry sauce. And almost every recipe that I looked at, the baked brie was coming up. So I said, well, after Thanksgiving I'm going to make that. And then I had a party to go to, so I brought it to that. And so we're going to get started. I now have what I think is the most delicious cranberry sauce recipe, which I made earlier today. And I toasted some almonds just before this. And I am cutting the top of the brie off, just the top part, because in one of the recipes that I read, it said that the puff pastry will stick a little better. I make mine by slicing this in half and doing a layer, and I'm going to put the toasted almonds in the middle layer and then the cranberry sauce on top. You could do this with dental floss or a good knife, but so now I'm cutting this in half again, and you'll see it will lose its shape, but you'll work it back in, into the shape that it needs to be in when you top it. And I'm actually just going to flip it over this way, and don't get scared about using your hands. You know, it is cooking and it's an art form, so use your hands. So I'm just going to do a rough chop through these already toasted almonds, lay them in this middle section, put the top back on, the top half, you know, sort of get it into some kind of shape as best I can. And then we'll put my secret, most delicious cranberry sauce on top. Now here's a funny thing. I was, as you can see, pretty into making these. So I, actually, I don't really, after having a couple of them, of these baked Brie-en-Croutes, I don't like the puff pastry, and I really want to do it in, now I want to wrap them in something other than the puff pastry. So I started looking into, something came to me about wrapping them in fruit leather, you know, in rolled fruit. And now I can't find I can't find a rolled fruit oh, I'm going to put some of my salt of the earth on here too. Everybody can get salt of the earth from me. $1 an ounce. Write to me at D@Recipes for Survival and get your salt of the earth. Okay, my friends, we're back. And now I'm just going to put the cranberry sauce on the top layer of this brie. And I have to say, as I mentioned, I got crazed trying to find a cranberry sauce recipe, and a friend of mine, well, of course, a number of my friends had it, and they say it's the absolute most delicious thing they've tasted. And next year I'm going to submit it. I want to be in the Cranberry Festival in Nantucket this year. This will be a baked brie with toasted almonds and cranberry sauce, and I'll be right back with you once the puff pastry defrosts. Hi my friends, thanks for joining me again and for the baked Brie-en-Croute episode. While the puff pastry is defrosting, I'm going to make a little quick egg wash that I'm going to put on top of it, which is as simple as scrambling 1 egg, some water, who knows, a tablespoon maybe. Not, you know, just put some cold water in it. If you don't have a whisk, you'll certainly use a fork. Now I have a brush. The brush I have isn't a pastry brush. It's a 1-inch brush from the hardware store. So now we have the egg wash, and then when you're done, make an omelet. I don't consider this a recipe for survival. It is fast. It's a wonderful, wonderful dish, you know, beautiful to bring to a party. And fun and easy to make. That's it. The puff pastry dough is perfectly ready to be worked with now. I'm simply going to put the baked brie in the center. There. I'm just gonna wrap it however I feel. For work. That, and then put that like that, and then if you have extra dough, you know, you can decorate them or what have you, but now of course I just read something and I want to run out to an opening that I completely forgot about. I want to run out to that Anna Hamilton piece up at the Armory. So I hope you enjoyed this recipe for survival. And then you're going to put this in the oven at 425 for about 25 minutes. You'll cut it in half. I'll do that also. You cut it in half. And it's really nice to serve with apple slices and grapes. Or certainly baguette, toasted baguette is fantastic. Thank you very much for joining me for Recipes for Survival. I hope you enjoyed this episode. And if you have any questions, I can always be reached via email on D, just the letter, at recipes4survival.com. So I will get this in the oven when I come home tonight. I'll keep it in the freezer. These freeze beautifully. And I'll show you how to serve it shortly. Thank you. Cheers. Bye.